Hi, I'm Charlotte from Funky Makers, and I'm going to be showing you some Christmas craft from upcycled materials this afternoon. So what I'm going to do is I will be pointing the screen of my laptop down at my hands, so you won't see me. You'll see my hands doing all the work, and you'll see me every now and again. I'll raise the screen. So we've got a few projects that we're going to do. So the first one is Denim Fringing. It's a technique that I've absolutely fallen in love with. You can see behind me we've got the wreath, and I'll talk about that a bit later and how I achieved that. So I'm going to show you how to do it first. I'm going to show you the technique. You need some denim. So when the jeans that you wear have become too worn to keep wearing, denim is one of the worst fabrics really for the environment because it takes so much dye and water to actually make a pair of jeans. So it's really good to be able to do something with them afterwards and upcycle them into something different. So if you've got a pair of jeans, try and cut them on the length, so the length of the leg, and use the waist pieces like that. So we're going to achieve this fringing effect that I've got here. And I'm going to pop the screen down towards my hands so that you can see what I'm doing. You'll see I've got my alternative Christmas jumper on. I don't buy Christmas jumpers. So what we're going to do, we need a cocktail stick. So this means you can do a needle or like a darning needle, something that's not too pointy. Or a compass or something like that, but cocktail stick is good. This craft you can do with the kids as well, so cocktail stick isn't really going to hurt people. So what you need to do is just pop the cocktail stick into the top corner of your strip of denim and start teasing out these threads. So as you can see, they start to come away quite easily, and you tease them all the way down to the end. And you might get stray smaller threads coming out as you go down. It depends how straight you've made your cut on the denim. There we go. We go back to the top and we pull the next lot out, and you can see that fringe is developing, and it's such a satisfying thing to do. It's so easy. So we just poke out the threads until you've got something that you can tease, that you can pull away. Now, I did a demonstration of this the other day and someone said, oh, it's like eco-friendly bubble wrap popping. So I did decide to put some Christmas music on in the back. I'm hoping that's not going to overpower my voice. So it's up to you how much of a fringe you want on the denim. It's personal choice. And also, I guess it depends on what project you're going to use it for. And also, you can decide to fringe one side of the denim, and I'll show you some projects that I've done in a minute. You can either fringe both sides of your strip, or you can fringe one side of a strip. So also with the denim, it's so you've got the dark threads, as you can see here, and the lighter threads. So it will be easier to pull the threads out in one particular direction, and I've actually found that different jeans are woven in different ways. So go with the direction that's easiest to pull. So if I was to try and start pulling from this end, it will actually be a little bit harder. So this time we're trying to pull the white cords out of the top. You'll get a different effect. So you'll get a fringe that will be the same colour as the fabric that you're fringing. So it might be a bit harder to see because it is the same colour as the fabric. So you're getting a fringe effect there, but that's also quite a nice effect and can be used for different situations, different things, different crafts you might want to do. Try and get that out a bit more so you can see. Sometimes it is harder to do it in this direction, so sometimes it does need a little bit more of a pull to get it to work. So just the closer I get, so you can see that there. That's a fringe that's the same colour. It also, for some reason, isn't as neat. So it tends to curl a little bit more, but as I said, it's a different effect and it's useful for different things. So we're going to go back to this side. I love the contrast, so I like the white, and you always know your denim is lighter on the inside than it is on the outside. So I really like this contrast effect. So we're pulling the dark threads away in this direction. Okay, so we've got quite a nice fringe on that side and that side. So I'm going to pop the screen back up so you can see me, and I'm going to give you some ideas to work with. So I've got this coffee tin here, so it's quite a safe tin for children to work with. So you've got no sharp edges, and you've got the lid, so you can pop things safely inside. So if you can put some double-sided tape or some glue, whatever you want, to stick the denim onto the tin, and you just trim it down here. And if you want, once you've trimmed it, you can actually do that fringing so that you get a fringe on the seam as well, which will look quite nice, but it's up to you what you'd like to do with it. But there you go, you've got this nice fringing here and this nice fringing at the top, and you could pop a little festive button or something on the front of it. So you could actually use this as a gift tin, so you could pop a gift inside it. Make sure you wash it first, and what a lovely way to give someone a gift inside a tin like this. Now I haven't done this before, but I am going to try. I've got some strips that I've done here, so I'm going to wrap this tin slightly differently. So I'm going to use double-sided tape, and I'm going to pop that around the tin. I'm going to start at the top. Okay, I'll need to move the angle again so that you can see what I'm doing. So if I pop the double-sided tape on there, and take it all the way around. So I just tear the tape and then peel back the double-sided tape. So I'm going to put one of these strips of that I've got on here. So I'm just going to pop it quite close to the lid so it just overlaps slightly on the lid, and then just twist the tin round, stick that down. I've come down a bit, I'm just going to back up slightly. There we go, and I'm going to trim that off there. So I'm going to just catch it on the seam and there. So that's on there. And then I'm going to get the next one, put some double-sided tape on again. So just come down a little bit below your fringe so that you don't stick your fringe down onto the tin and get underneath it. And again, we're going to peel that back. So now what we're going to do is just pop that fringe out a bit, and we're going to take this and we're just going to pop it quite close. Okay, and we're going to go round so the fringes slightly overlap. And we're going all the way round. And again, we're going to, okay, I should have started that. I'm going to take that off again for a second because I made a mistake. So I'm going to start that here where the previous one started, so that all the seams are running at the same place. So just slightly overlapping, and there we go. And I'm going to cut that off there. And then we're going to do the same. So just below the fringe, and take the okay, so we find that seam again here, and we're going to start in the same place. And we've got the fringes slightly overlapping. There we go. And I'll use these bits for something else in a minute. I'll show you. Okay, so we're going on with the next one. I might bring that up slightly higher. And peel that off. And we've got another strip. Just bring. Okay, so we're starting on the seam again here. Right, just gonna chop. Sometimes if you've got a slight slant, you don't get the same level of fringe, and sorry, we've only got a very tiny fringe on the top bit of this. I don't want to take any more threads out of it because it will be too narrow. The fringe won't be wide enough. So I'm going to pop that on there again, and we're going to go around with the fringes overlapping. And we've got to there. Pop that down, and we've got one more. So we're going to go around. Whoops. I'm going to take the wrapper off the... And as you can see, I mean, the effect is lovely. Okay, so we've got our last strip of denim, fringed denim. We're going to pop it here and come around again. So this time we're lining up with the bottom of the tin. So these strips that I cut were about 3 centimeters wide. So there we go. I'll pop that back up here. So we've got this lovely, lovely effect, and you can ruffle it up. And when you start ruffling it up, you can pull out it'll pull out some of the ones from underneath, so you can get a rougher texture on it. And it's such a nice effect. Okay, if you want to, you could cover the lid with something. You could actually get a circle. You could use the lid to draw around on the piece of denim, and you can stick a piece of denim to the top as well. You obviously don't have to leave the lid on, so you can take the lid off, and you can have them as storage containers. So you can have a little storage container that has your pens and your pencils and your scissors and bits and pieces in. So just to show you what else I've done with that. So this is a bauble that's been done like that, and I've used the seam of the jeans to cover the neck of the bauble. So this one is only fringed on one side, like this, that when we refringed just one side of the fabric, and then it's done in layers. So the fringes hang down, and I've left a little piece of the colour of the denim between each layer. So with this, you start at the bottom actually, so you must put the bottom layer on first, and then you pop the next layer up, and then you work up the bauble. And when you get to the top, to actually get it to fit round the neck, you're going to need to snip into about 4 or 5 places around the top of the bauble, so that you can overlap those pieces of denim, so they sit neatly on the top of the bauble. So that's one of those, and this is the other one, and I've left, so the fringes overlap, but it's quite nice because you get a little bit of the sparkle of the original bauble through, as you can see it glittering in the light. So that strips that are fringed on both sides, and again, it's just double-sided tape, and it's you don't see the bottom of the bauble when it's hanging, so you don't need to do anything fancy with the bottom of the bauble. They just overlap on there. So that's really pretty. And this one is just single fringed, just wrapped around the tin, and this is the when it's done in the opposite direction. So it is harder to achieve, but as you can see, it's a little bit rougher, the texture of it as well, when it's done the opposite direction. That's a little bit harder for kids, and then I'm going to show you the wreath. So this is all fringed on one side, and these strips are much wider. So this is just done on a hanger. So it's just a wire hanger that I pulled out and put over a bucket to get it to. There we go. Put over a bucket to get it into a circle. So the bucket was a really good guide. A circular bucket was a really good guide to get it into a circle. And these strips that I did, they're about 5 centimetres wide, and then overlapped. What I did was wrapped the wire hanger with old towels that I no longer need, and I put some yarn around them to just looped the yarn on the top of the hanger here to created a knot, and just wrapped it all the way around the towel on top of the towel, and then tied it off again when I got back to the top up here. And when I started wrapping the denim, I just pierced a hole in the first piece of denim and put it down over the hook, and just carried on wrapping. And did the same when I got to the end, pierced a hole and pulled it down. So that's how you do it. You can attach the denim, you can just hand sew. Once you reach the end of a strip, hand sew the next strip in onto the last strip, and keep going round. So I think that's quite pretty. Okay, so I think that's all with the denim fringing. There's loads more ideas you can explore with that, and I'd love to see any of your creations if you do make them. It'd be great if you could post them into the Facebook group. Alright, so that's all on that one for now. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back shortly with some more craft. Bye.